final episode of Girls Can Grill 2, where over the past 6 weeks we have been grilling up a variety of different beef cuts. Last week we did the bone-in rib steaks, and this week we are going to be grilling up my absolute favorite steak, the New York strip steak. We're also going to be grilling up some asparagus for our vegetable side. I also have a little extra pop for our steaks. We're going to be mixing up just some horseradish mayonnaise. Some places call it a creamed horseradish, but it's something that they usually have at really nice steakhouses, and it's so simple to mix up, and it's just a really fun way to just make everything pop when it comes together. So before we start seasoning these New Yorks, I would like you to just take a second to look at the marbling in these steaks. So if I hold this guy up, you can really see that intramuscular fat there, that white stripes throughout the steak. That's what we talk about when we're talking about the grading of a steak, whether it's going to be select, choice, or prime. These steaks are choice, and like I said, if I were picking out steaks in a grocery store, I would notice that this steak to me looks like one of the best steaks out of these three, and so you can kind of pick and choose and make sure that you're getting the best steaks possible. So let's get these steaks seasoned up. Again, just using a super simple salt, pepper, and garlic. Season them up on both sides. I'm going to go get my hands washed up, and I will be right back so we can get these steaks on the grill. All right, our grill is right at 400 degrees, so we are ready to get these New Yorks on the grill. As you can notice, these steaks are a boneless cut of beef. They're cut to a 1-inch thickness, which is standard for most places. You can get them cut thinner to like a 1/2 inch thick. I wouldn't recommend that. I would keep at the 1-inch thickness. You can also have them cut at 1.5 inches if you really want to wow your guests, but I think 1 inch is a really nice thickness for your steaks. So these steaks, I'm going to set my timer for about 3 minutes before I come back and check on them. And I wanted to mention too, this rosemary, you might have seen it over here. I trimmed some rosemary and I used just some kitchen twine or some jute to wrap it around the end of a wooden spoon. And so what we're going to be doing once we go to flip our steaks in a couple of minutes, we're going to use this mop of just olive oil and Modoc seasoning to brush the steaks with. And it just adds just this little hint of rosemary that is super fun, and just another way to make things pop. All right, I'm gonna get my plate cleaned off and come back with a clean plate for us before we check on our steaks here in a moment. All right, we're going to check in on our beef. I believe it's ready to flip, and then we'll be able to use our rosemary brush to mop it with a little bit of that extra virgin olive oil and Modoc spice. So if I take a peek, awesome. We will get these flipped. Looking really nice. I definitely love a New York more on the rare side than on the medium side. I'm gonna I want to get those asparagus on first. So I've just washed up a bundle of asparagus, trimmed them up a little bit. I'm just gonna put them on the grill here. And before I mop my New Yorks, I'm going to take that rosemary brush and mop these asparagus a little bit with that extra virgin olive oil. Getting our rosemary to all fit down. I got a wild one. So I'm gonna that looks so nice. It's actually working really well. So I'm just gonna get some extra virgin olive oil on these, make them really nice. Helping the grilling process. So I want to get them nice and mopped before I mop the steaks, because I don't want to go between my protein and my vegetable here. So now I'm going to pull this guy up. Now since we're going to be applying a little oil, we need to be cautious that our grill doesn't begin to flame up. And I'm also going to be only grilling them about 4 minutes on this side too. So we're just rubbing that rosemary on them, adding a little more oil to them, and a little more seasoning, which never hurts, always makes it better. Woo, getting a little olive oil myself. All right, so we're gonna let those be for a moment, and then we're gonna flip them and just mop the other side as well. I'm gonna close that, keep our heat consistent, because just having it open that long brought my heat back down closer to 300. So I'm just gonna adjust that a little bit. Again, I'm gonna be cautious because I just applied oil to those steaks, and so I wanna make sure that I don't have any flame ups and get kind of that charred steak. We don't want that. New York is actually one of the 38 lean cuts of beef, and what that actually means, lean as a term is not a marketing gimmick, it's actually government defined and regulated. And so what that means is within a 3.5 ounce portion size of each of those lean cuts, such as the New York, there has to be less than 10 grams of total fat. There's 2 other criteria as well that they have to meet with saturated fat and cholesterol. So if that is something that you're interested in knowing more about, there's so many great options with lean beef, especially when you're concerned and wanting to make sure that you have a diet that's very heart healthy. All right, so our steaks are getting close. I want to flip them one more time and add a little bit more of that mop to them, and so we're gonna do that. Before we do it, we're gonna move our asparagus around a little bit. Again, I love my vegetables to still have a lot of great structure, and so I'm not gonna grill these too much longer because I want them to still have a good crunch. So my New Yorks are looking awesome. I'm gonna turn my heat down a smidge, grab my mop, and I can smell that rosemary, which I love so much. Our New Yorks are looking awesome. I think they're ready to pull off so that they can rest a little bit, and then I'll let my asparagus continue to cook. So let's grab our plate. Ooh, little flame up there. Put that. I'm gonna let those asparagus continue to cook. I'm gonna take these into the kitchen so that they can rest, like I said, and then I will be back with you in just a second so we can get these asparagus pulled off. All right, our asparagus look like they are good to come off, so we're going to grab our plate and our tongs and get those off of there. You can see our grill is a little bit dirty this time from the oil we've used and the seasoning, and so it's kind of up to you if you'd rather crank up the heat now and get that kind of burned off and clean your grill so then it's ready for you the next time, or some people choose to just wait till the next time they get it nice and hot when they fire it up and clean it then. So up to you. It's kind of nice if you're planning to use it on a busy weeknight to just take care of that cleanup now so that it's ready to rock for you the next time you go to start it up. So I'm going to take these asparagus in and get this steak plated up, and I'll be back in just a moment. I've got some hungry dinner guests, so I better get these steaks cut up, but I want to thank all of you for being here over the past 6 weeks as we cooked up a variety of different beef cuts. I hope you're leaving feeling inspired and confident about grilling beef, and I want to thank you for letting me answer your questions. I hope that you'll consider me your rancher friend, and I hope that you saw how simple these meals were, but how nicely they pulled together. And I just want to say it one last time, girls can grill too.